What's up, you guys? So, UH men's basketball officially began their regular season on the road at Oregon. And unfortunately, it came out on the wrong end. 60-59 Oregon wins thanks to Takai Simpkins with a layup with 4 seconds left. So, I'm going to get into that in a little bit. But a reminder, guys, remember, subscribe if you think that I'm worth listening to, or if you just want to see some more of my games. Next game will be the home opener against East Texas A&M, and that will be on Sunday at 8 p.m. Okay? So, with that being said, let's get into this. There it is. UH loses heartbreaker to Oregon. Last few seconds questionable. This team will be special. Mark my words. I watched the final 6-7 minutes of the game because I couldn't find the Big Ten network on TV. But still, from what I could see and from what I could hear on the radio, because I listen to ESPN Honolulu, from what I could tell, this team, despite being without Tanner Cuff, this team is going to be special. They may have subjected themselves to a run early, but then again, basketball is a game of runs, and UH started out pretty well, and then Oregon started to come back, and it was nip and tuck pretty much the whole way. On what could be described as a really lousy shooting night, I guarantee you, if Oregon and UH were making their shots a lot more often, UH would still be competing with these higher-powered opponents. And make no mistake, Oregon is a Big Ten opponent, and they're an outstanding school. And you definitely can't take any team lightly, especially some of those D2 or D3 schools, because they can take one away from you. Case in point, Hawaiʻi Pacific University went on the road. They're a D2 school, HPU. They went on the road to Boise State, and they beat Boise State by 79-78, I believe. And for HPU to pull off an upset like that, that's something. But then again, Hilo managed to beat Northern Colorado in the 2021 Outrigger Rainbow Classic off a shot that went in off a missed free throw. So Hilo can take that away from them. Can take that win away from them for sure. And make no mistake, beating higher powered opponents like that, especially if you're a D2 school, is no easy feat. And if you pull it off, my hat goes off to you for sure. From what I could see, as far as, and now, has UH done that? Yes, they have. They beat Michigan State, which was number 4 in the country at the time, back in 2005. And they also turned back Xavier in 2011 in the Diamond Head Classic. But anyway, as far as Oregon goes, I would have to give this game probably a B+, because from what I could see, they did everything right. UH I'm talking about. They did just about everything right until the final few seconds. Now, who led the team? It was none other than Isaac Johnson with 13, and he was the only one to come out with double-digit points, while Oregon had a couple others, Takai Simpkins and Nate Bittle, because he had a double-double of 12 points and 14 rebounds. In the meantime, Isaac Johnson, I believe, had 9 boards. But still, that was a really good game. And if this game was any indication, University of Hawaii is going to turn some heads when they get to conference play. Make no mistake. Last year, they had the talent, but it seemed like they just couldn't use it effectively. And, of course, some guys did have their minutes fluctuate here and there. Guys like Akira Jacobs and Marcus Green and And at that point, you couldn't blame them if they transferred, which they did, which was unfortunate for the University of Hawaii. But still, for UH to keep pace with Oregon is a statement in itself. I mean, just like in Supercross, odds are you're not going to compete with the front runners, especially in a one-on-one event. But if you do, hey, that's a win in itself. Make no mistake. So I would give that game a B+ because UH managed to respond when they needed to, because they started out the second half on a 9-2 run, but then succumbed to a 14-1 run, and then went on a 20-8 run or something like that, including 14 unanswered to get back in the game. Now, when UH fell behind by 14, they probably could have folded up shop and just kind of let the game go, but they didn't. The fact that they refused to do that, that's taking the easy way out if you fold up shop. But if it's close to the end of the season and your position in the Big West standings is pretty much secure, then okay, that's another thing. But to see the University of Hawaii come from behind and win, and possibly win this one, is a statement in itself. And had other guys like Gitas Nemicha and Hunter Erickson come through with double-digit scoring nights, and maybe if Tanner Cuff weren't hurt, we probably would have beat Oregon going away, given the way that game turned out. But obviously, it is what it is, and unfortunately, Isaac Johnson fouled out, Gitas Nemicha fouled out, and unfortunately, it looks like that's what did UH in. But what really told the story was the final 10 seconds, where Oregon had 5 chances and they did score, which was unfortunate to the University of Hawaii. But what really stood out to me was Harry Ruliadef getting the rebound. He was going like this, and I don't know if he volleyball spiked that to someone thinking a UH player was there, but obviously it didn't work out for Harry. And I probably would have cradled that ball, but, props to Harry. You can't really put the blame on him because aside from that, UH played really, really good. And if they can keep this momentum for the rest of the season, they will turn some heads in conference play. And with Tanner Cuff possibly down for the season, that might be the reason that UH really needed to, or maybe the news that UH really needed to hear to really get inspired and put on the kind of performance that a lot of us were expecting that they do last year. Now, what happened in the final possession was Hunter Erickson did go for a layup, but it didn't go through the netting. It did hit the hoop, but it didn't drop through. And that was unfortunate. Was this a confidence docker? Probably, but I really hope that that was just a bump in the road. And if UH can prove that that was a bump in the road, they'll come out strong and maybe lead wire to wire over East Texas A&M this coming Sunday. It won't be easy, but they can pull it off. So as far as that game goes, I would definitely give them a B+, mainly because of those final 5 seconds. But still, it was their first game, and I still think that that's proof. The way that they played tonight is solid proof that Ganat and the coaching staff hit the transfer portal really, really hard. And Isaac Johnson did really well, but the guy that I thought really showed his true potential, Isaac Finlinson. He scored 8 of his 9 total points in the first half. Unfortunately, Finlinson was kept in check in the second half and was held to just a single free throw, which he made. But at the same time, that's really their first game, not counting the preseason. And to see Finlinson do that is a great sign. Will he be that 6th guy off the bench? I don't know. I sure hope so. But obviously with Tanner Cuff down for the season, all of the point guards and some of the other guys in other positions are going to have to grow fast. Aaron Hookenclater grew fast last season. Now we just got to put our eggs in one basket or two baskets, really, with the two Hunters, Hunter Erickson and Hunter Carter, if he gets that playing time that he deserves. But obviously, Hunter Carter is a rookie, and obviously got to take it easy on him, which I am. I wasn't looking for big things from him. In fact, I don't think he played at all in the Oregon game. I just hope that someone of his caliber won't be relegated to garbage minutes, because there is talk that he is similar to Roderick Bobbitt or some of the other point guards, maybe Hunter Erickson, but I'm not quite sure. That's all I heard, though. And of course, supposedly, if that is true, the operative word being supposedly, if that is true, Hunter Carter and Hunter Erickson are going to have great seasons this year. So we'll see how it goes. And that's really where I'll leave it. So I just thought I'd keep it a little short. So I know that this team will be special. And if they don't subject themselves to big runs, but 14-1 may sound kind of big on paper, but believe me, basketball is about a game of runs, and it looks like UH is really getting that backbone back that they really lacked last season. Because that squad last year could do great things, but it seemed like they just kind of subjected themselves to big runs, and they just couldn't recover. But still, now they got guys that can really play the point position, like Hunter Erickson and supposedly Hunter Carter and Tanner Cuff if he was still out there. I don't know if Cuff is out for the season, but odds are he probably is. But, of course, the operative word being odds are. Okay? So, it's not definite if Cuff will be out for the entire season. But then again, Juan Munoz is a good point guard. And when he was on the UH squad, he loved basketball too much to give it up. So he sat out the entire season, 22-23, sent in the waiver to the NCAA, and it was granted. And if it were for Juan Munoz, it should work for Tanner Cuff. But at the same time, Juan Munoz was out there doing warm-ups for the team. And if Cuff is out there doing warm-ups at any time, he may very well have that. And he sends in a waiver to the NCAA. Odds are they'll probably approve it, but there is a chance that they won't. And obviously the NCAA doesn't take sides. They do make a lot of questionable decisions, like with Jerome DeRosier not getting a second senior year when he obviously wanted to. But that's another story. I've already covered that as well. So anyway, guys, that's all for today. And remember, subscribe, and I'll see you all for East Texas A&M. Go Bows!